I get this question from many people that my life was much better before awakening happened. So, what's the point of it all? And this usually comes up when we are experiencing what is known as the dark night of the soul, or the phase when we are experiencing those highs and lows, extreme highs and extreme lows. Now, the difference is that after awakening, which is my concept, there is a shift in perception because there is a crack in the structure of the personality. The person gets glimpse into its true nature, into its purity, which is vastness, which is infinitude. And therefore, there is a crack in the structure of the personality. For most people, it causes immense pain. Now, there are very few who can just assimilate that reality. As Ramana Maharishi said, that for some people, it's just like they hear the words that you are pure consciousness, and that's it for them. But for majority of the people, they undergo a conflict, a period of darkness, which is marked by a lot of confusion and conflict. And they question, the seeker questions, why did it happen to me? My life was okay. I was doing my job, I was with my friends, I was enjoying life. Now all of a sudden this happened and I can't do any of it. My relationships have gone sour. They have broken. My friendships have broken. I've lost friends. I don't feel like working. I don't feel like doing anything at all. My mind contemplates all the time. And it is not that the mind is seeped in depression, because this is not depression we are talking about. In depression, the mind is constantly seeped in negative thoughts, in, it's pure selfish energy. But after awakening, mind goes into contemplation, and during that phase it experiences the highs of the high and the lows of the low. And usually the questions are, what is my life? What is my purpose here? What am I doing here? What is the point of it all? You see? It comes from that mind which is on its way to wholeness. That means it comes from the fragmented mind, from the separate self, which has observed its own unreality, and now awareness is in grips of it. So that means awareness is devouring the separative mind. So separation is ending. And for majority of people, it causes a lot of pain. So what is the point of it all? There is no point in this. You never asked for it. It happened. That is the understanding. So there is no need to find a solution, because this is not a problem. If your mind says that it is a problem that I need a solution for, that mind is seeking continuation in separation. And continuation in separation is pain, is suffering. If you look deep, deep down within yourself and ask yourself, was I really happy, truly happy before this happened? You will notice that you were living with a void, with an emptiness. Yes, you had it all. Maybe you had money, maybe you had very good relationships, friendships, supportive people, supportive community. But even after all of that, there was no peace. Why there was no peace? Why was there a longing for truth? Because deep, deep down, it is the truth that pulls us. It is the pure awareness that pulls us, pulls the separation to devour it. So it is not a question of what is in your control. There is nothing in your control. You didn't choose to have this understanding. This understanding happened. And I will repeat, it is not that you awakened. The person does not awaken. The person does not get enlightened. The awakening happens, and that happening happens through crack in the structure of the separate self or personality. Now your resistance, which you're offering to the highs and the lows, well, you're not offering resistance to the highs, but you're caught up in the highs. Sometimes you crave for the experience to happen again. I've got a glimpse, I want it again, I want the peace again. But you notice that it is constant polarity. Sometimes you feel excited, euphoric, other times you feel very low and depressed. So when you feel euphoric, you want a repeat of that experience. When you feel depressed, you want to escape it. So both of these energies, both of these movements are continuation of the separative mind. And in that, mind may come up with some old patterns. Let me get into a new relationship to avoid my loneliness. But deep down you know that no relationship on this planet is going to fulfill that sense of loneliness. No friendship, no association, nothing in this life is going to fulfill that void that you experienced earlier. Now it is there, but it's not as strong as it used to be. But since your mind is now quiet and alert and attentive, you experience emotions in all their intensity. And the reason for the suffering is escape from intensity. And how does that escape from intensity come about? It comes about in the form of seeking. What is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of life? What should I do with my life? Am I going in the right direction or not? Am I progressing spiritually or not? And the real understanding is that none of these things are being directed by you or controlled by you. It is all happening. The awareness decides and not you. Awareness decides how long it will take, not you. If it is in your destiny, this can get over. This pain of the dark night, this pain that you are experiencing can get over in an instant. By simply realizing that you are pure consciousness, the unaffected witness of the phenomenal world. You were never bound, you are not bound even today. It is your mind, it is the separative mind which creates the notion of being an individual that is bound to things around. The conflict is not outside, the conflict is within, and it is fueled by this sense of separation. So what do I do? And the answer is, who wants to do what? The answer is the question itself. Who is trying to figure this out? Who is trying to crack this code? Look into that. And what is the need to crack this code? Why do I even want to know the truth? What truth will bring me that I do not have right now? That is the main question. Is seeking for truth going to bring you something that you do not have right now? Have you ever questioned that? There is no greater reality because every experience happens in the realm of mind. So, getting caught up in experiences, chasing for experiences in order to feel better, is the ploy of the separative mind to continue itself, because mind wants to continue itself. That is where it thrives. And the basis of it is always separation. Mind thrives in separation. Wholeness does not need to survive, because wholeness does not need to thrive, because wholeness already is thriving. Wholeness is what the mind really is, and that is simply here and now. There is no deeper understanding, no deeper truth, no deeper experience that is going to eliminate this pain of suffering, other than this basic understanding that there is no separation, there is no separate seeker of anything. So, awakening can happen now, right now, in this instant, with true understanding, with complete deliverance, that you are not separate from what you seek. You are the wholeness, you are the pure consciousness. It does not make you special in any way, neither does it make you ordinary, because there is no comparison between you and the other. When there is this recognition that you are just, the notion of you is just a manifestation, an object that has come about in awareness, and you are the awareness and not the object. That realization alone ends all suffering. Does that mean we escape pain of life completely? No, not at all. We experience everything. We experience all the pain and suffering that we are destined to. We experience turmoil in relationships. But none of that gets us caught up in it. We experience the pain in the moment, we experience the pleasure in the moment, and we accept all of it with total intensity. We do not fight against the intensity, we do not resist anything. And that is peace in daily living. It reflects as peace in our daily actions. The actions then become spontaneous, living moment to moment with complete joy, with the understanding that wholeness is here and now, and not out there in concepts, not out there in practices. Practices are all beautiful, but they are just aid. As Ramana Maharishi said, they are just aid to self-realization. And he gives us the direct path. He says, you can do that right now, right here, by putting your attention onto this sense of separation, this I. Who is this I that says is suffering? When the nature of this I is understood, there will be pain in the moment, there will be pleasure in the moment, but there will be no suffering. And what is perceived as pleasure is also pain, because pleasure brings about a craving for repetition, and avoidance of pain brings about the same problem. But acceptance has to be total, which means when one is in that phase where one is unable to accept, even that is accepted. So it has to be total. I know that there are wars happening in the world today. I cannot accept it, it brings me pain, but I accept that pain. I know that my seeking is not leading me anywhere. My practicing meditation for hours, doing yoga, doing different kind of practices, trying substances to awaken myself, quote unquote myself, is not bringing me the result that I want. My escapism in daily living, in substances, in sexual activity, and in other things is not bringing me any relief. Deep down, I still crave for the truth. So look into the nature of that that is doing all of this, and see if there is a separate doer of anything, or are things just happening. When it is understood that there is no separate doer of anything and things simply happen, the seeking ends. Because the doer ego says, finally it says, if I am not the doer of my actions, then who is this me? And the end of me is the end of its story. And the end of story is peace.